Hi there, my name is Tyler. I'm making this video in a response to this video that this gentleman has made, Durianriders, right here. He makes this video referencing a gentleman that I respect highly. His name is Mark Sisson on Testosterone. This is what the video is about. Um, I'm a big propagator of marksdailyapple.com. That's Mark's own website. It's a very great place to go for nutritional information, documentation, etc. And I wanted to address the first few minutes of this video because this gentleman, Durianriders, is referencing an article that Mark wrote in 2007. It's on endurance racing and the harmful effects of it. That's the general theme for this article that he's about to reference. I'll play the first little bits and we'll break it up into pieces so that we can digest this correctly. This gentleman is a vegan, well, hardcore vegan apparently, because he keeps attacking everyone else who isn't vegan. It seems like, note the little 30 bananas a day thing. He's fruitarian almost. But what he does is he takes this article and warps it to say a lot of things that it doesn't actually say. So here we go.
So here we have an article from slowtwitch.com by Mark Sisson. Mark Sisson says, training's no degree of health. Written by Mark Sisson, date Tuesday, September 11th. Mark Sisson talks to me about Mark working with the World Anti-Doping Agency, USADA, working with these anti-drug, anti-doping agencies, and this is a picture of Mark here, so I'm assuming this is Mark Sisson.
Okay, now I did find that article. It is on slowtwitch.com. Everything is there. That article is there. Now what he says about the article is not necessarily true. It was written by Mark Sisson September 11th, 2007. But other than that, what he says from now on is falsifying everything that Mark says. He's reading into it, and he's really just putting his own spin on everything that's said. He'll just take bits and pieces of it and make it sound like Mark takes testosterone and all this other stuff. So here we go.
So if we scroll down, we've got Mark is talking about...
See how he doesn't actually go into it. He doesn't show you what all of this says. He just kind of... he's generalizing. He's not really telling you what it actually talks about.
Talking about his recommendations here.
Me personally, that's a lot of information to skip over to get to a point you're trying to make. I'll show you everything.
This is the first thing I found interesting. Studies have shown an increase in mortality when weekly caloric expenditure exceeds 4,000 calories. So if we do the math, that's 570 calories a day. Is that what Mark Sisson's recommending people eat? I don't know.
What Mark Sisson prescribes people to eat. I really hope you caught that. Here, let's see if I can back up.
So if we do the math, that's 570.
He's saying, or what he said was that he's saying that Mark says to eat 570 calories a day. Okay, if we go over here to the actual thing, what this article is about is Mark's defense to not doing endurance work. He's pleading to endurance athletes to get away from it because it's harmful to the body. A lot of endurance athletes think that what they're doing is prolonging life. Well, it's actually retarding it. That's the emphasis, the overall emphasis, if you want to get into it. There's so much in this. There's so much interesting stuff. He goes very deeply into glycogen stores, how endurance athletes delve into that, and then delve into their fatty acids, and then they delve into their muscular structure to get the calories they need to do the ultramarathons, the 100-mile bike rides, all that. The requisite high intake of carbohydrates to provide fuel requires that an enormous amount of insulin must be produced and circulated to help store it. So he's talking about carbohydrates and how it's bad. Mark Sisson is a proponent, or he's a big proponent to the paleo diet, the Paleolithic lifestyle, the caveman diet. Meat and vegetables and fruits when necessary. Stay away from dairy, grains, and legumes, beans. So he's talking about cortisol and what all that does, how all of that plays into retarding longevity of life rather than amplifying your life expectancy whenever you're an endurance athlete. Now, the part which this gentleman over here, durianrider, talks about the 4,000 calories. It's saying any anti-aging doctor will tell you that if you do this long enough, you'll hasten rather than retard the aging process. If you do endurance training long enough, you'll hasten rather than retard the aging process. Studies have shown to increase in mortality when weekly caloric expenditure exceeds 4,000 calories. Now, it's saying studies have shown an increase in mortality, so in death rate, increase in death rate when weekly caloric expenditure, whenever you burn 4,000 calories a week or more. So it's, if you want to break that down to really, really, really layman terms, it's you're going to die faster if you burn 4,000 or more calories a week. And that's his reason for him stopping training. Alongside, he up here he goes into he had chronic upper respiratory inflammation. He had irritable bowel syndrome, and all of this going on whenever he was doing those high mileage races. Mark Sisson was an Olympic triathlete. He was doing fantastic as far as his performance goes, but it was breaking him down in every other respect. Now we're gonna keep going.
Calories a day. Is that what Mark Sisson's recommending people eat? I don't know. I'm confused.
It's not confusing. It's really not. I'll post the link of this
Sounds
article.
like Mark's a bit confused as well. Anyway, we go down. Mark talks about what he would do or what he does. I'm not too sure. Mark doesn't make it too clear. I would incorporate therapeutic amounts of testosterone. Yes, I know it's illegal, but I'm giving you the best case scenario to balance out high levels of cortisol when I have gone to the well too much. You know, I mean, does Mark Sisson take testosterone? It sort of seems like he's saying he does. That's Mark Sisson's own words there. It's his own quote. And then we talk about Floyd Landis.
Okay, let's go into that a little bit. Let's expound upon that. Now, given what all we've said, Mark is a proponent of the paleo lifestyle, so he's saying in here that endurance training is bad, and he's giving his reasons why it's bad. Now, the part in which this gentleman is talking about is he's saying, where's it at? Yes. Given carte blanche, blank check, to take advantage of all that medicine has to offer, I would aggressively consume antioxidants during my training. Now, if we back up just a sentence, it says, but what if competitive type A, but what's a competitive type A to do if he wants to kick age group butt in Kona and do not fade away prematurely? Mark calls the ultramarathoners type A. They're the abnormal human beings that can handle that type of stuff. So what's a competitive ultramarathoner to do if he or she wants to kick age group butt in Kona? That's where they hold the ultramarathons, and not fade away prematurely, not die prematurely. Okay, so he's saying, hypothetically, if you were an ultramarathoner, this is what I would tell you to do if you could do everything available to you medical-wise. Given blank check to take advantage of all that medicine has to offer, I would aggressively consume antioxidants during my training. I would increase the amount of healthy fats to 50% of total calories. Only consume quality complex carbs during the training. In fact, you would calculate his carbohydrate requirements and then not exceed them. I would use simple sugars, example gel, during long rides and races, blah, 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 blah. That's his thing. Now it goes into another thing. He says, I would incorporate a therapeutic amount of testosterone. Yes, I know it's illegal, but I'm giving you the best case scenario. If you're an ultramarathoner and you could do whatever you could to postpone death and still ultramarathon. That's what it's saying. It's not hard to figure out if you go to this website, slowtwitch.com/features/Mark Sisson says training is no guarantee of health 4.html. You can go there and read all this yourself. It's still up. I promise you. This is made 8/7/2012. So everything else is just a moot point. This gentleman is just trying to attack paleo lifestyle in general, attack Mark Sisson, and debunk the truth that Mark has, but he can't, because this is very shady the way that he puts this together. He doesn't go into any of the article. He rather just picks and chooses what he wants to use to shed a bad light on Mark. So I hope this cleared up quite a bit, and I thank you for your time, and grok on.